The big question I want to raise is, has the time come now to even talk to separatists to try and end this cycle of violence? Muzaffar Hussain Beg, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir and the PDP MP, the ruling party of Jammu and Kashmir, is with me. I'll also be joined later by other guests, GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP, Professor Hamida Naeem of the Hurriyat supporter, Dr. Ajay Kumar, spokesperson of the Congress, and Sushil Pandit, someone who's been a Kashmiri Pandit activist. I appreciate all of you joining us, but first to you, Mr. Beg, for your comments on what I see as a possible way forward. Do you believe that the time has come to talk to separatist groups? It's all very well to get eminent citizens on board, doctors associations, teachers associations, but unless you really now want to talk to separatists, you cannot end this spiral of violence. They are the ones you need on the dialogue table. Does the government believe that of Jammu and Kashmir? Yes or no?
Government believes in that. But when we say that the time has come now to start the peace process dialogue with Hurriyat, we are mistaken. The time had started when the alliance was formed and BJP, PDP government was formed in this state. According to the alliance of agenda, that process should have started right from that moment on. Now this process has started under very special circumstances. Does it mean that only when there is a killing and a mob uprising, is that the only time that the government of India should wake up and want to talk to the stakeholders in Kashmir? But I welcome this as a good step. Good step. Now, see,
but it's your government. Mr. Beg, when you say that from the moment, sir, when you say from the moment your government was formed, you should have begun this process of dialogue with separatists, including the Hurriyat Conference. It's your government. The Hurriyat Conference leaders are today under house arrest. And the center is very clear that these are anti-national elements who are fueling the violence. So I'm unable to understand this. Who is in, you say one thing in Srinagar and the BJP, which is your ally in Delhi, is saying something very different.
That is the problem. Under the agenda of alliance, we had agreed that the controversial issues will not raise. This is an agenda of alliance, but we'll work through the process of dialogue to resolve the Kashmir issue. But throughout this period, there are many people from Sangh Parivar who have said that Article 370 should be abrogated. Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir should be abrogated. Their flag should be destroyed. In the meantime, unfortunately, there were killings of Muslims or Dalits because they believe in beef eating. I mean, this kind of the alliance did not postulate that. It was based on a good faith understanding and good faith belief that the process of dialogue will be initiated. And we have tried to do that during the last so many months.
So you are accepting in a way that this alliance hasn't worked. You're accepting in this program that the alliance of the BDP and BJP, because of internal contradictions, has not worked, and therefore the solutions that are possibly available are difficult to implement because the BJP's agenda with its core base in Jammu is very different to your agenda with your core base in the valley. Let's be honest.
So should I put it differently? May I put it differently?
Yes.
We have not acted on the agenda during the last 15 months. Has it failed? No. We have still about 5 years to go. And I think this is high time that the BJP, which may be a junior partner in the state government, but obviously they rule the state. This issue cannot be decided. Jammu and Kashmir government cannot start talking to Hurriyat Conference or Pakistan. That falls within the domain of the central government. And I hope that BJP leadership and the Prime Minister, not for the sake of alliance, if not for the sake of alliance, if not for the sake of people of Kashmir, but for the sake of Indian nation, Indian state, will take this uprising as an opportunity to look deeply and introspect and open all avenues, at the international level, at the regional level, at the local level, to start the peace process. Now, all the people in Kashmir don't want Pakistan. Now we say that there are three elements, Insaniyat, Jamhuriyat or Kashmiriyat. But as I said on the other channel, there is also a fourth element in Kashmir, that is Pakistaniyat. or Azadiyat. Those people will also have to be taken on the board. If they are obdurate, and if they say that they will never come to the table, then at least settle
So
the
you are-
matter with those parties which
So you
believe
are saying
in,
talk-
in,
you are
in
saying-
the constitution.
You are
National
saying
conference
talk to those
supports
elements who
the-
talk of Azadi. You are making it clear that you believe even if someone is talking of Azadi or Pakistaniyat, as you are calling it, you have to talk to them. Am I correct?
Yes, we should. So yes, we should talk to them. And if they refuse to talk, in any case, they don't want to come to the table, let's expose them to the people. Let then NC and Congress supports Article 370, a separate constitution. Then at least let these three organizations and BJP get together and resolve the issue within the Indian constitution. Roll back some of the provisions of the constitution which are not necessary. Let's have a true federalism. In America, there is double citizenship. Why can't we have we are not asking for a double citizenship. We are only asking that our identity be preserved, our constitution be respected. Article 370 should not be opposed. That's what we are asking for. Why don't they come at least to some agreement with NC and Congress and PDP? And then go back to the people and see the electoral process whether we have the mandate of the people.
So you have made very
That's- at
serious,
least that's what we
sir,
should
you
do.
have made very serious statements on this program. You are saying that you need to talk even to those elements who talk the language of Pakistaniyat, your words, not mine. Talk to those who talk about Azadi, and you need to do it within the framework of the Indian Constitution, even if it means giving greater federalism, presuming greater autonomy
Fine.
to Jammu and Kashmir. You know, those are very dramatic statements, and you are questioning the role of the center. GVL Narasimha Rao, this is Muzaffar Hussain Beg, your ally in Jammu and Kashmir, who's saying the time has come now to even talk to separatists. Is the BJP ready to do that or not?
Rajdeep,
Yes.
I think some of the comments I've heard,
Yes.
I would say they are uncharitable because we have a coalition government in Jammu and Kashmir, and there has been a continuous dialogue between the two parties, and even I think this government has been constituted once again after the passing away of father of Mahbooba Mufti, Mr. Mufti Muhammad Saeed. So
Sir-
I think for PDP to come up with any other formulation now would only lack credibility.
Sir,
But
this
as
is
far
your
as,
ally.
the
Sir, you are
government of
sir, I am
India's
not able to
position is
understand
concerned,
this.
I think
this is your ally, sir. This is your ally in Jammu and Kashmir who has come on this program today and made it very clear
know,
that he
Rajdeep.
believes that the agenda of governance included talking to all stakeholders, including separatists, and he believes that the time has come to do so now. Do you agree with what he has said, yes or no? What kind of an alliance otherwise is this?
No, Rajdeep. The Home Minister's statement this morning and Honorable Prime Minister's discussions with the leaders of various parties from Jammu and Kashmir does not leave anything to imagination. I think anyone who wishes to speak to the Home Minister while he is staying in Srinagar is welcome. I think he has also said it is within the framework of Kashmiriyat, Insaniyat and Jamhuriyat.
No, he's talking of
and
autonomy.
BJP
He's
have
even
come to
using
power,
double
not through
citizenship.
the barrel of the gun.
He's talking of double citizenship. He's saying that greater federalism.
Rajdeep,
Yes.
you see, when there is
No,
a
I am
dialogue,
not talking about
I think when
double
the Home
citizenship.
Minister is
I am
engaging
not
in a
talking
dialogue
about
with
double
civil
citizenship.
society,
Yes. Okay, let me go back to Mr. Beg. Mr. Beg, let me get a clarification. When you say that this dialogue must take place within the framework of the Indian Constitution, what do you mean, Muzaffar Hussain Beg? What exactly do you mean?
Under the Constitution of India, Article 2, different states can be admitted into Union of India on different terms and conditions. It was under this Article 2 that the accession of Jammu and Kashmir took place, and we surrendered only 3 powers to the federal government. Later on, by virtue of Article 370, an additional opening was made.
Sir.
That in addition to those three subjects, which is foreign affairs, communications,
Yes.
and defense, the state may accept some other provisions of the Indian Constitution. Now, under the garb of that Article 370, almost all the provisions of the Constitution have been applied to the state, which have eroded its autonomy. National Conference has demanded that some of those provisions should be rolled back. We demand that only 2 or 3 provisions should be rolled back and in accordance with Article 2 of the Constitution of India. So we are asking for a settlement in accordance with the Constitution of India.
No, 1 minute.
We are not asking for azadi.
You are
or
asking for a
de-accession.
return to
We are asking
pre-1953.
for this
You are
arrangement.
asking for a return to pre-1953. You are
No, not at all. No. That would have been the ideal situation. But we are pragmatists. We know that can't be done. We are asking for rollback of 2 or 3 provisions of the Constitution of India. We are not asking
Give me
for
one.
the moon
No, give
to
me
go back
one.
to 1953.
Sir, you are saying on this program, first talk to separatists, talk to Pakistani elements.
Let me say that there is a provision which the lawyers will tell you. There is a provision of the Constitution of India under which under certain circumstances all the powers of the states can be taken over by the union government. We don't want that article to apply to Jammu and Kashmir. That will mean the end of the Article 370 and Kashmir or whatever you're talking about.
So you are effectively calling for
what
dramatic
we don't
changes.
want.
You are calling for dramatic changes, the kind of shifts that the BJP I don't think will be willing to make.
No. Those are not dramatic. We are asking for implementation of the arrangement in accordance with Article 370
Right.
and Article 2 of the Constitution of India. People forget that Article 2
Sir,
is more important
you have
than
aligned with a
Article
party that has called in the
So we are
past
not asking for
Sir,
more.
it is
We are not-
Sir,
we
it is
are ask-
amusing you are
we-
saying, sir, the only reason I am saying it, you are aligned with a party that has called for the abrogation of Article 370, and today you are asking not just Article 370 to remain, but you are even asking it to be taken a step further. Sushil Pandit, you want to respond to what you are hearing today? Because clearly now the time has come to look for out of the box solutions. And Muzaffar Hussain Beg is reflecting that view that the situation has reached a stage in Jammu and Kashmir where the status quo cannot work anymore. How do you respond?
I think this is absolute political blackmail, and I least expected it to come from a sagacious leader like Professor Beg, Muzaffar Beg Sahab. The point is, he says that Kashmir acceded to India under certain provisions of Constitution. May I remind him that accession took place on 26th of October 1947. Constitution of India came into effect in 1950. There was no constitutional provision of India at that time. Constitution wasn't
I'm
formed.
not talking that accession. Please don't
Number one.
misunderstand me.
Number
Don't
two.
understand me. We
Number
had
two,
only
sir.
instrument of accession. We had only instrument of accession when we started framing our constitution. Kindly, if I have
Just a moment.
if you have misunderstood me, I'm sorry.
Number
if you have
two.
misunderstood me, I am saying that till 1954, when the arrangement was changed, the only arrangement was instrument of accession. There was no other arrangement. It is in 1954
Right.
that other provisions of Constitution of India were applied to the state.
Sir, when instrument of accession was signed, there was no Article 370. It was unconditional. There were no caveats. The same
that's what I
instrument
say.
of accession
That's what I
was
say.
signed across the country
That's
by
what I
all
say.
565 princely
Sushil
states.
Pandit,
But
times
this
are-
is not a constitutional debate. Street cannot be used
thank you,
as a
thank you,
blackmailing
thank you,
tool
thank you,
for
thank you.
reversing the constitutional provisions. You want to go back to the days when there was no access to Supreme Court in Jammu and Kashmir.
there
You
is
want to
no
roll back
blackmail.
Election Commission
A
of
small-
India. You want to roll
no-
back
no-
Comptroller and
no-
Auditor
no
General of
state-
India.
no
You
state
want to
of
roll
India-
back all
no
Indian
state of
institutions that
India
operate
can
in Jammu and
blackmail the
Kashmir.
union.
Okay,
This
one minute,
is
one minute,
not on.
one minute, Sushil, 1 minute.
No, not all.
Muzaffar Hussain Beg,
Not all.
Muzaffar Hussain Beg,
Not all.
Muzaffar Hussain Beg, I want you to take
And
the
let
comments, just a minute, that all the panelists are, because somewhere in what you are saying, there is a feeling that because now 70 people have died, that the state has been under a curfew for 45 days, that the time has come for out of the box solutions. And you today are telling me on the program that one of the out of the box solutions is to look at to how you can maximize autonomy for Jammu and Kashmir within the framework of the constitution and talk to all stakeholders including separatists. Am I correct? Is that a correct understanding?
Right.
Does that mean that because there is violence, you are unable
sir.
to control the
No, sir.
violence?
No, sir.
You are
You
unable
are-
to
no,
control
sir.
the violence. The people on the streets are blackmailing the government.
Just a minute. May I respond, sir?
Yes.
First of all, I am in favor of all the provisions of Indian Constitution which are necessary for its integrity, defense, security and all national interests, number one. Number two, this out of box formula didn't spring up today. Our constitution of the PDP talks about it. In 2006, when the working groups were formed, before that we had submitted a memorandum on the suggestion of the Prime Minister of India, where we had made the suggestion of self-rule, and that's what we presented before.
would like-
So you're
the,
talking of self-rule.
the
Let me
three
come.
meetings
Let me come.
presided over by the Prime Minister, and he said, yes, self-rule. It is not today's that we have suddenly come up with
like
this
to
agenda,
like to
and our agenda of alliance was based on this principle that we'll talk about these proposals. Why don't you even want to talk about these proposals? You may reject them. You may reject them. You may reject them.
1 minute, 1 minute. So,
Please understand.
can I get the two major
But why
political
don't we at
parties?
least
Can I get
listen?
the two major
Why don't
political?
we want to listen? Why don't we want to listen to NC?
Can I get the
Why
two
don't
major
we want to listen
political
to
parties? Sir, I
NC?
take your point.
May I just point out a
Sir,
few
Sushil,
details?
Sushil Pandit, just a
Rajdeep.
minute. I want to get the leader of the PDP has made a major point saying he believes self-rule for Jammu and Kashmir as defined by the PDP is the way forward, the out of the box. I want a quick reaction from Congress and BJP. You, Ajoy Kumar, first. Do you believe that that is a solution? Yes or no? Would the Congress support it? Would the Congress support self-rule argument being made by Muzaffar Hussain Beg on this program, or do you see it as blackmail by the people on the street? That is the first step towards what some believe is Pakistaniyat.
You know, the first question, Rajdeep, is the Prime Minister has himself said that everything within the framework of the Constitution is on the table. Now the BJP spokesperson will deny it. Sushil Pandit, the Prime Minister has said it to the delegation of opposition parties that everything within the Constitution is okay. Then
What about the Congress
one
party?
part of
Forget
the
the Prime
BJP
Minister.
says
Is the
abrogate
Congress
370.
party is going
The
to
Prime
support a proposal which is
What?
being mounted by the PDP for greater
the
self-rule?
Congress party, the Congress party has always said that you have to speak to all elements, you have to bring peace to it. The double speak of the BJP, the FM says something, the finance minister says in Jammu that the stone towers are
What is
agitators,
your
we will not talk
position,
to anybody else.
Mr. Kumar?
They are not with the country. Jammu is
Ajoy
we won
Kumar.
elections in Jammu.
Sir, I am not interested in the price. I just want, sir, my viewers want to
Can
know.
I complete myself?
No, what is the Congress position? I have limited time. What is the Congress position? Do you support self-rule
The
for Jammu and
Congress
Kashmir?
position is clear. The Congress position is clear that within the provisions of the Constitution, we need to speak with all elements to bring peace first.
Including
it is an
separatists?
integral part of India.
You will support
We
talk
have
with
to
the
have-
separatists?
It is an integral part
Will
of India.
you support talks with the
You have to-
separatists?
You have to talk. How will you control? You need to talk to everybody. Gilani,
Okay.
Mr. Gilani, Mr. Yasin Malik are all under house arrest. How are
Wake
you
up
going to
and
control
smell some
it?
coffee.
The first question
Even
is,
separatists
do
are
you
not
want
under
to
the
bring
control.
peace? 41. Can I complete, Mr. Pandit?
All
Mr.
right.
Pandit, one second. The separatists were being spoken. Our Prime Minister goes to Pakistan, that is okay. And now you're talking about separatists speaking. All elements necessary
Rajdeep,
to bring
this is
peace
what the
to in
Congress party
Kashmir
indulges
is
in.
critical.
Okay.
The second part is,
No, you made your
Arey, my
point.
friend, Mr. Rao, your Prime Minister says something. 2 years back, you say something. FM says something. You don't.
Our
you have
Prime
no
Minister-
sense of,
Sir,
sense
let
of
me
shame.
start with this
Our
topic.
Prime Minister.
You
No, you made your
continuously
point.
speak in double language.
Ajay Kumar, just a minute. You made your point. GVL
Our
Narasimha Rao.
Prime Minister-
No, just a minute.
our
GVL
Prime
Narasimha Rao.
Minister's-
GVL Narasimha Rao, I want clarity. Does the government want to
sec,
go
Rajdeep,
down
the
the
last
road
point.
that the
The
PDP has
last point,
taken?
Rajdeep.
Sir, you made your point. PDP is making it clear they believe that self-rule must at least be
Rajdeep, no,
discussed.
I just want to make one point.
Ajay Kumar, just a minute. GVL Narasimha Rao, go ahead.
Can I? No, Rajdeep,
Yes.
I think we have come to power at the
You can,
center. People
Mr.
of
Rao.
India have given us the mandate where our original position was. We wanted even abrogation of 370. We wanted a discussion on that. We wanted to debate 370 throughout the country. But when we have actually formed an alliance with PDP, we have signed a joint
I welcome
agenda of government.
debate. I
So
welcome
there can be
debate.
nothing. There can be no discussion with the PDP beyond the agenda of governance. And the engagement with different sections of the civil society,
Right.
with different stakeholders, is a part of that agenda of governance. So anyone who is committed to the agenda of governance, anyone who
So
is
you are
committed
ready
to
to
the
talk to
constitutional
separatists now?
framework of the country,
Mr.
we
GPL
can
Narasimha
certainly-
Rao, is the BJP ready to talk to separatists now?
Anyone- talk to separatists.
Anyone, I think Mr. Rajnath Singh is camping in Srinagar. I think with
Why don't you
his
answer
tweet,
it,
let
Mr.
them
Rao?
read his tweet. And if they are committed to talk to him, within that they can go and talk to him.
So you are
But the
saying
question
within the
is,
framework,
they cannot,
Professor
they
Hamida
cannot,
Naeem, you are a
Rajdeep,
Hurriyat
from a
supporter. Is the
position.
Hurriyat ready to
Rajdeep,
talk to
what?
Rajnath Singh? Is the Hurriyat ready?
Rajdeep.
Just a minute. Is the
Rajdeep.
Hurriyat ready to? Ajay Kumar, please
Rajdeep.
hold on. Please hold on. Professor Hamida
First of
Naeem,
all-
is the
first
Hurriyat
of all,
ready? Yes or no?
Rajdeep, get your Rajdeep. Thank God. Ultimately, you remember there is someone sitting here for such a long time listening to all this nonsense which has been going on. Now, the first thing is that Rajnath has come here to trivialize and insult Kashmiris by saying I'll talk to one and all. On the one hand, 70 persons have been gunned down. 10,000 people have been maimed, crippled and blinded, and there is this urgency that you want to talk to every Tom, Dick and Harry, but you don't
No,
want
one
to talk
minute.
to the stakeholders who can control the situation. What nonsense is this?
No,
This
so
is an
people come on the
insulting
street,
trivialization of
people
a
come on the
struggle,
street,
of a
pelt
protest.
stones, and then
That
you have
is
to
what
talk
you are
to them
doing.
under
And
the
you are
shadow of the
actually-
gun.
You're actually, so listen to me. All these terms which they are picking up from Vajpayee, he actually had a vision of solving Kashmir not as a territorial issue but as a question of the will and rights of the people. Now they are perverting all those terms and throwing them on our face, but ultimately have converted them into barbariat, into jabriyat and into jansangyat. That is what they are giving us on the platter today. This is height of nonsense that today when such a situation is so grim, your General Huda has actually acknowledged the grim situation on the scene and you are actually snubbing him by bringing in BSF. You have now relegated to the background. You are happy with army when they kill Kashmiris, but when
1
they
minute,
have
ma'am.
a realization that killing has not subdued Kashmiris.
No,
has
I am
not
looking,
subdued
madam,
Kashmiris.
madam,
Now
I
they-
don't want
they
rhetoric
didn't want to
tonight.
dirty their hands.
Madam,
They didn't
madam,
want
I
to dirty
appreciate-
their
a
hands.
platform.
No,
They
one
don't
minute,
want
one
to
minute.
dirty their hands with further.
No,
Now you give all
I'm
this
listening.
a-
No, I'm
What are
listening
you
to these
saying?
angry
You are
voices.
You are actually replicating the state here.
Sir, I'm not, madam.
You are actually replicating the state, drunk
No,
with
no,
power.
Rajdeep.
Because-
Madam,
If you want
no,
to be
Ajay
the
Kumar,
mouthpiece
please.
of Pakistan,
No,
if you
one
want to
minute.
be the mouthpiece of Pakistan,
No, you are saying mouthpiece of Pakistan, but here I want every voice to be heard. We are saying all stakeholders and
I'm not
Rajdeep.
anyone's. Rajdeep, I'm not mouthpiece of anyone. I'm not.
No,
mouthpiece
all
of
this-
Hurriyat. I'm simply
The
stating
money has been
reality
pumped in,
that
the
Hurriyat has
protests
a
are-
control
a lot
today
of
on
them
the
are
situation.
paid.
You need to talk
That's
to
the
them
reality.
and you need to take
You
the
have-
steps which
you
they
have
asked you to
misled
take.
No, 1 minute. I'm asking my producer to
Rajdeep.
keep the voice down now. Let's get it very clear. And I want you to try, I'll get you Sushil Pandit, but first, Muzaffar Beg, you're hearing these angry voices. And I want to understand, therefore, am I to understand that this dialogue with stakeholders will take place because the fear is that the violence now is out of control and the government cannot control it? Therefore, what is the message being sent out? The message, therefore, is being sent out. You can, in a way, bring the Indian state, in a sense, to heel by and forcing the Indian state to accept a solution. Am I correct in my understanding?
No, Rajdeep, I think that this is a delayed realization that we should have started working with deliberate speed on implementing the agenda of alliance. I welcome the statement of the spokesperson for BJP that we should have a debate on Article 370. On your channel, I make this offer that let the Sangh Parivar get their ideologues and their lawyers. If I fail to convince them that Article 370 is unamendable, if I fail to convince them that it is in national interest for the consolidation of the Indian state, I will withdraw from politics.
No, you are making a huge point. You are saying today on the program, if you are unable to convince the Sangh Parivar that Article 370 is not in the national interest, you will withdraw from politics. Is that what you are telling me, right? You are telling me this on the program today. So you have
Yes.
from saying self-rule,
Yes.
from saying
Yes.
talk to Pakistaniyat elements, to
And
say,
also that it is unamendable.
okay.
Unamendable.
Okay,
It is
give
unamendable.
Sushil Pandit-
and it is in the national
Sushil
interest.
Pandit, the
Yes.
time has come that extreme voice. Whether you will be seen not as a moderate voice today. Neither will Miss Naeem. You all are being seen as emotional extreme voices. You are reflecting a Pandit viewpoint. She's reflecting a viewpoint from the ground. The time has come to find a middle ground out of the box.
Okay.
What's wrong in having a dialogue with all elements?
Okay.
Mr. Vajpayee held a dialogue with separatists on a round table. Why suddenly should Narendra Modi not do so?
Of course, nobody is opposed to dialogue, but you have to bear in mind what is it that you are seeking from this dialogue. Mr. Beg says self-rule should be brought back into contention, into negotiations. Let me tell you what self-rule comprises. It says we should have
It should
open
be
borders with
discussed. I am
Pakistan.
saying
Sir,
it
let
should
me
be
finish.
discussed. I am
Let me
saying it
have
should be
half a
discussed.
minute, sir. Self-rule
No, I am saying
says
it should be
open
discussed.
borders with Pakistan. Sir, let me finish. It may be embarrassing a little for people to know. Self-rule says Pakistani currency should coexist with Indian currency in Kashmir. Self-rule says that we must have
Not
Sharia.
At all. No, not at all. I deny
14,
it.
page 14,
No,
it says,
no.
please
This is a wrong
introduce
statement. This is a wrong
Sharia-related
statement, sir.
practices in banking.
Sir, you are misinformed. Sir, you are
Sir,
misinformed.
page 14 of your manifesto.
No, you are
Self-rule
misinformed.
says,
You are
yes, sir.
misinformed.
I can bet my last
you are
penny on
misinformed.
these. I know self-rule document
Yes, sir,
inside out.
misinformed.
Self-rule says
I am not
joint
interested in your
ownership.
pennies.
Self-rule
I am
says
interested in
One minute.
shared
You are, sir, you are
sovereignty.
looking. No, 1 minute. Sushil Pandit,
Shared
you are looking at
sovereignty.
you are looking at self-rule from a 40, 50-year-old perspective.
No,
I am talking about
2006 document.
Yes, but
by PDP.
But he is saying he is open to negotiation, discussion, dialogue. You are
On
saying
shared sovereignty, on open borders, on, I mean,
Muzaffar
it's
Beg,
incredible.
I am
what is the
saying,
dialogue to be
listen,
on?
if
Shared
you are not
sovereignty
convinced, don't do
is an
it.
oxymoron. Pakistani currency in Kashmir, open borders, Sharia in banking.
I don't,
That's self-rule.
I don't subscribe to that view at all.
Sir,
I
this is
don't
part of your
subscribe.
manifesto. This is part of your self-rule
What does
document.
the SARC stand for?
Open borders,
Sir
Joint
Desai,
control.
Sir Desai, may I intervene?
shared
May I
sovereignty,
intervene?
rank oxymoron.
Okay, just a minute.
Sir, may I intervene,
Yes, Muzaffar Hussain Beg. What do you mean by self-rule? Let the audiences of this country know today so that we are very
May I-
clear. You are in government
I
there.
am talking about this. I am talking about the. I am talking about the self-rule document that I prepared and gave a copy to the Prime Minister. All this stuff is not there. Number one. Number two, I am talking of the SARC vision. We should rise above these petty squabbles and we should go back to the SARC vision 2020, which says that we should replicate the experience of European Union in these 7 countries. That is where
Have
the
we
Indian
reached European
state has
Union
to take the
standard in
moral
SARC?
leadership.
No, but
all these
please,
7
no,
countries
let's,
of the
With
SARC
Lashkar
countries
sir, just a
have
minute,
that
just a
arrangement.
minute, sir, just a minute. To all the panelists, there is one elephant in the room that we have not spoken about, and that is terrorism being sponsored from across the border. And none of the solutions we know can actually will bring an end to that, because there are elements who believe that through terrorism, through violence, you can actually get the Indian state to heal and thereby get your way. Am I correct with that or not? Muzaffar Hussain Beg, am I correct that none of these solutions will be able to counter the terrorists?
Sir Desai, sir, you are right. You are right, Sir Desai. You are right. Terrorism is an international phenomenon, it is a regional phenomenon, it is a local phenomenon. I personally believe that unless there is a good faith agreement between India, Pakistan and Afghanistan against terrorism, we will have terrorism in this part of the world.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there because I think this discussion has
That
raised...
doesn't mean we shouldn't try to find a solution of Kashmir within the Indian constitution. These are 2 different issues.
Okay.
Genuine political settlement within Indian constitution in national interest, in nation's interest. If we fail to convince the Sangh Parivar that
Rajdeep.
our agenda is wrong, we'll withdraw it. But I challenge you, I'll withdraw from politics if I fail to convince them. But apart from this Kashmir issue, there is a terrorism
Rajiv, and the
issue which is
government of India should
international
stop
and
their
regional.
double speak.
For that, Afghanistan, India and Pakistan
Sir, you have said,
must
you have
come
made your
together.
point, sir. You have made your point. Clearly, we've reached the stage now where we are looking for out-of-box solutions. It is now since July 9th that Kashmir has been under curfew. The Home Minister is there, but clearly just talking to the same elements again and again are not going to work. We need something dramatic to break the kind of logjam that we have at the moment in the valley. And Muzaffar Beg today has thrown some dramatic solutions or some propositions that he has offered on this program. Thank you all very much for joining me, but because I need